Apparently, nobody is hearing me. Let's see what's going on here. Um, hmm. Nobody's hearing me. Uh, I'm supposed to be live right now, and I'm refreshing the thing, and oh, there we are. Okay, there we are. Okay, there we are. What the fuck? Okay, hang on. Let me just fix my chair a little bit. Ugh. Ah, God damn. This chair, for like 2 years now, it keeps sinking on me when I'm sitting on it. It slowly sinks, and I have to get a replacement. It cost me like, I don't know, like $100 or something. I mean, not like a terribly expensive chair, but the goddamn thing just sinks on me. But anyway, what happened was that over the last 3 webinars, I wasn't able to do the Q&As for webinar number 83, a sober discussion of psychedelics, webinar 84, how to date effectively, and webinar 85, what to do exactly on the first 5 dates. Yeah, and also I'm imagining a lot of people want to know about the fact that I nuked my content. Okay. So I'm not going to discuss it because it's a boring topic for me, but I'll just, to get it out of the way right away. Um, I just got sick of it. I know that it was a bad commercial decision. If I was just interested in Patreon subscribers, I should have just kept it there, and it would have increased my Patreon subscription base. But I was just tired of it, just bored of it. Hang on. Oh, God damn it. I was just tired of the content. It weighed on me. It kept me from doing new content because I felt I was repeating myself, or that I would have to somehow, do something a little bit different from the videos I'd already made. And so I was just like, fuck it. I'm tired of it. It was just too much content that just weighed on me, and it kept me from moving forward. And a couple of times in the past, I've said that, okay, I'm going in a new direction. But the thing is, see, what I started noticing is that as my content inventory increased, I found it more and more difficult to go in a new direction. I started getting paralyzed. So it's like, you know, something's off here. Something I need a change here, you know? And remember, this is a hobby. It's a hobby that I enjoy doing, but it's not the center of my life. There are other things that are, all due respect to all my viewers and you guys on Patreon, there are other things that are more important in my life. And so this is a great hobby, but it's not everything. And also, what's happened is that I've been thinking that maybe it would be smart to have a more forceful public presence. And so I was thinking to myself that maybe a lot of the content that I've made would just weigh me down and become a vector of attack. And so I've been thinking in different directions. Okay. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. So what I've decided to do is just nuke the content, and I'm not really going to make any kind of decision or do anything until the middle of December. And in the middle of December, I'll figure it out. I'll start thinking about it. But between now and the middle of December, I'm just not going to bother with the CRP channel or the GL channel, or the notion of making more content. Insofar as Patreon is concerned, oh, definitely, because you and I have not a contractual obligation, but a tacit understanding that you pay me $5-10 a month, and I deliver consistent content on a regular schedule. That's the transaction I enjoy. I enjoy it very much, and I like the webinars in particular. I like them because they give me the opportunity to really sit and think through certain issues that I'd never really thought carefully about. Like, for instance, the 5 dating, right? The first 5 dates. I'd never really sat down and thought, how do you handle dating? 5 dates. What do you do? Mhm. And you know, it made me think, you know, it made me also analyze the things that I do instinctively, or not instinctively, but rather my experience has taught me to do certain things. Okay. So it's like, yeah, it's very interesting, you know. So webinars, I love webinars, and I like interacting with you guys because a lot of times your insights or your comments or your questions lead me in directions that I never thought of. And that's something very valuable. That's why you want to talk to people who are not like you. You want to talk to people who are different from you, who are sympathetic and respectful to your point of view, but who think in a different way. Because those people who are not sympathetic, who are disrespectful, will just shit on you. But somebody who's sympathetic and respectful, in the sense that when I say respectful, we understand what we mean. And when I say sympathetic, I mean in the sense of understanding where you're coming from, but not necessarily agreeing, but just understanding where you're coming from, right? A lot of the times, those people who are sympathetic and respectful will hit you with a point of view or an insight or just a realization that you never would have thought of on your own. And that's why I personally like when you guys give me questions and comments. And that's why I'm looking forward to this Q&A. And so let's get cracking. Now, just to clarify, I really want to stick to topic, okay? It's a little past 7 p.m. my time. And I'll be going for a couple of hours, 2.5 hours or so, because you guys know that this office building closes and closes tight at 10 p.m. my time, which is in about 3 hours. So what I'm going to do is focus on the dating webinars, which I know a lot of guys want to talk about, and that's the thing I want to talk about first. Okay, and want to give it, 100 and give it like 80, 90 minutes, and then do another 30, 40 minutes on psychedelics. Okay, so psychedelics we'll leave it to later. The dating stuff, we'll do it right now. So let's hit it with the first person. I saw the first person who hopped on and who's disappeared. Oh, there he is Bryce. So why don't we just add him to the stream? Hey, Bryce, how's it going?
What's happening? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine. What's up?
Right on. No, I'm just tuning in. Yeah, dating questions. I mean, I'm kind of just coming to the
If you don't have a
realization.
dating question like specifics, that's cool.
Yeah,
But other people do. So I'm glad
yeah.
to talk to you, Bryce. But what's your specific
Yeah, for the
question?
dating, I suppose the specific question would be like, you really just need to have your finances in set, and then I would say from there, work on the game aspect of it. Would
Well,
that
yeah,
be? I
but
didn't really have a question like offhand. I'm kind of just freestyling right
okay.
now, but
Okay,
yeah.
then great talking to you, Bryce.
Yep.
You take it easy, okay? Okay. Um, Cody, how's it going, Cody?
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty
Nice to
good.
meet you. Long time
Good to
fan,
talk to you.
first time
Oh,
tuning in.
thanks very much. I appreciate it. What's on your mind, man?
So, my question about dating is specifically what do you do if you've been with somebody and you are unable to have a kid? So, I wanted to know what your view is.
Who's infertile?
Me.
Okay. Well, then it'll depend on the woman. Okay. If she's down with that or not. Okay. Most women, it'll be a huge disappointment.
Right.
Okay. And quite frankly, the whole issue of like a sperm donor and shit like that, it's not going to cut it for most guys, for the vast majority of guys. Okay.
Right.
Eventually, there's going to be a lot of resentment. And
Yeah.
that's an unfortunate situation. Is there any way to reverse this situation of yours?
I have spoke to a doctor. He said it is possible with treatment. But I feel like I'm kind of in this gray area where I don't know how much it's going to cost, which is what's kind of weighing us down and causing a lot of rift. So he said it is possible. It is possible to have kids. It's
Why?
just,
Did you get a vasectomy?
no, varicocele. So
It's what? I'm sorry?
a varicocele.
What's that?
It's where the vein is wrapped around the testicle and it's killing off some of the sperm.
Oh, okay. So it can
is
be operated on.
Yes. Yeah. It's just a matter of expense.
How expensive is it?
It could be anywhere from $7,000 to $10,000.
It's worth it. Do it. What are you fucking around for? Why are you even asking this question? You know,
Yeah.
if it's reversible, okay. Now, is this like the vein is wrapped around both testicles or one in particular?
Yes.
Both. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Do it. I mean, come on. It's 7-10 grand. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how much you're earning, right? But it's worth it. You know, especially if you're married, right? And are you married or a longtime girlfriend or what?
Engaged.
Okay. Well, then, if I were you, I would get this done as soon as possible. On this particular issue, how old are you, by the way?
31.
Okay. Well, clearly I mean, I'm looking at your picture. You seemed a little puffy. You seem like you're overweight. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Lose some weight, whatever is necessary. How much are you weighing? How tall are you?
I am 6'4" and I weigh about 360 pounds.
Jesus Christ. How much should you weigh? And you know the answer.
I think about like 220, something like that.
So you're like 120 pounds. You're like 50% overweight.
Yeah.
Well, lose the weight, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lose the weight. Get into health. I mean, any operation you want to do, you got to be in good health, right?
Yeah.
So, and if you're overweight, you're not, by definition, you're not in good health. So lose the weight first, and tell your woman, look, honey, this is what we're gonna do. And here's the thing: you control the direction of where you're going. You tell her, look, honey, I'm gonna lose 120 pounds over the next 6 months, and then I'm gonna do the operation. Over the next 6 months, I'm going to save money and do whatever is necessary to put together the cash to do this operation to fix this problem.
Yeah.
And simultaneously, I'm going to lose the weight, and probably you'll save money because you're going to be eating less, right?
Right.
And so you get yourself in shape. You know, you don't do anything rash or foolish. You do a systematic diet. You know, small portions, salad and fish, and just slowly bring down the weight. No junk food, none of that crap. And is your woman overweight too?
Yes. Yeah.
Then you tell her that you know it's a couples thing, and you both go ahead and lose the weight. Okay, that's the first thing.
Yeah, I was just thinking long term, like because they wanted to put medication and stuff. So I was thinking of like
no medicine. Medicine doesn't work. Medicine is palliative. Okay. Medicines, I mean, they work. Of course they work. But my point is that, see, you don't want to be dependent on a pill.
Right.
You want to get to the root of the problem. And your woman, how old is she?
26, about to be 27.
And she's overweight. How much overweight?
I would say about the same, almost like 100 pounds.
Well, you tell her, honey, you know, even if I lose the weight and fix this testicle problem, you're still too overweight to probably have a kid. So you're going to have to lose weight too. You lay down the law. See?
Right.
And Cody, I'm looking at you. You seem like a nice guy.
Don't
be a nice guy.
Right.
Don't. Enough with being the nice guy. Where has being nice gotten you so far in life? Has it gotten you far?
No, not at all.
Okay then.
Yeah.
Okay then. Okay. So like, you know, be an asshole. Look, we both have baseball caps, right? And we both got beards,
right.
You know? And so you know, audience, you know, guys who are watching this shit, okay, you guys tell me, you know, is there, what's the difference? It's being the nice guy and the asshole. You know, you want to be the asshole, and you want to dictate the direction that you're going in. Okay. So you tell her, we're both on a plan, a 6-month plan to lose weight, to lose 100 pounds each. And, you know, at 6 months, we're going to put the money together to have this operation. And we're going to see how it goes. Because, look, you'll do the operation, and it'll be a few months before you know if your swimmers are working or not, right?
Right.
And so it's going to be, the whole process is really going to be about a year. But if I were you, that's what I'd do. Okay.
Right.
And here's the bottom line. If it turns out that after all this stress and all this shit, you can't have a kid, your relationship will probably end. But you have to think to yourself, well, it'll end, and then I'll find somebody else. Okay. Because there's always somebody else. And also, if you are in shape, looking good, you're going to feel more confident in yourself, and the women are going to come. Okay.
Right.
And so, you know, think of it in those terms. Okay.
Right.
Now, insofar as infertility in a man, it's an incredible blow, and there is no way to talk your way out of it.
Right.
Okay. Bottom line, because your situation, you're lucky. See, you can have this situation fixed and done. But a lot of guys are permanently infertile, and it hits you, and there's nothing to be done. I mean, it's just one of those unfairnesses of life, and you gotta learn to live with it.
Right.
In your case, don't fucking learn to live with it. You can do something about it. Okay, Cody?
Gotcha.
Okay. You take it easy, man.
Thanks.
Hey, Split, how's it going? Split?
Doing good, coach.
Good to hear from you.
Nice. Coach, my question is, sorry if it sounds a little bit like prickly, but my question was how to make the most out of like being a pretty boy. Like, what do women exactly want out of them? But I'm not asking this in a way to be like asshole or arrogant.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I never
first
really
of all,
had
yeah. How old are you? How old are you?
21.
What?
21.
21. Okay, this is what you do. First of all, you start looking. Stop holding your fucking chin. Okay.
Yeah,
it's not
it's
gonna
like
fall
the
off.
beard.
Yeah, it's not gonna fall off. Okay. First of all. Now, secondly, like what you got to do is you always try to maximize your looks, no matter how shitty your looks are. Okay. Number one. And so you're lucky enough to be like semi good looking. Okay. Yeah. Maximize the looks by, nice haircut, nice shave, because really it's from the shoulders up. Your age, you're a kid.
I know.
Okay. So it doesn't really matter. But here's the thing, as you get older, and this is for the rest of the audience, right? See, if you are a pretty boy and you look like a fucking bum, girls are going to look at you and figure, oh, he's a bum. Okay? Mm-hmm. Clothes make the man. You can be an ugly fuck like myself, but if you're dressed up in a nice suit, nice haircut, looking sharp, you look like somebody to take seriously, and they'll take you seriously. So always remember that, okay? You always have to remember that good clothes, looking good, okay? In your peer group, okay? Like you're 21, if you dress in a suit, you're going to look foolish, or like you're going to a funeral or a wedding or some shit, right?
Yeah.
Because at your age, it's not normal or common. Common would be the correct word. It's not common for guys to be dressed up in suits. But so what you have to do is look sharp in your age peer group, okay? But don't glide on the looks. And also what you have to do is you have to work on game, even if you're attractive, because see, a lot of times what happens with guys who are attractive is that they get pussy easily.
Yes.
And so they don't make any effort to be smart, to get what they want, to be forceful. So you have to learn to be forceful. Yes, a lot of ugly guys think that, the luck of the pretty boy, that they wish that the luck of the pretty boy, but what happens to most pretty boys, and I'm talking to you, Split, is that most pretty boys, they glide on their good looks until all of a sudden in their mid to late 20s, their good looks don't help them anymore. And all of a sudden they don't have the tools to succeed. Don't let that happen to you.
Yes, okay? That was part of my question. Whenever like getting women, I never really had to have like good game. I just didn't have to like fuck up shit. And I know I'm not that attractive, but here in my country, people are uglier than America.
What country are you in?
Chile.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll tell you right now. The good looks also, you think it's helped you with women, but you don't realize that it's also helped you with other aspects of your life. With your dealing with teachers, dealing with adults, because they look at a good-looking boy, and it's not that they want to fuck you, but everybody feels like, oh, he's a good-looking boy, he's a good kid, he'll be somebody. But there comes an age where your good looks don't matter anymore. Just like with a woman might be very, very attractive. She hits the wall, and that's that. A guy, sort of like the same thing, only at a younger age. Yes. A good-looking guy, you've got until like 27. So you got to develop a more forceful personality to get what you want. Okay. Don't just glide on your looks, because you think that a lot of things that have happened to you in your life, apart from women, have happened because of you. No, they've happened because you're good looking. But that gravy train ends. Okay. Understand that. Anything else on your mind, man?
My brother actually is like a very similar person to me, but he's uglier, and he was like an incel until he was like 27. So you can figure out how it makes a difference. Last question.
Sure.
Is that I've been thinking a lot about like my personality type, and you once talked about personality type in a previous webinar, and I felt very identified with it. You know, the stereotype is the guys who are like very funny, dark sense of humor, laugh at everything, great comedians. But as you dig a little bit over them, you realize all of their lives are filled with fear. That's what you said. Like, can you expand a little bit more on that? Because it kind of feels familiar.
Okay, explain. Why does it feel familiar?
Like, I think I have like the capabilities, and I say, I want to do something, and I don't do it now. It seems so easy, and I then end up doing nothing. Like, it's like pathetic, you know. I don't know. Can you talk more about that stereotype if it's allowed?
Well, it's of course, you know, talking about a stereotype of personality that sort of like says, "Oh, I'm going to do something," but in the end does nothing. Is that basically it? Yeah.
Yes,
that's
but
most people. It's simple as that.
The one that had to do with, you know, laughing at everything, like dark sense of humor, like, you know, being like a comedian in a way.
Yeah.
But deep inside, like being a different person. I don't know if you can expand on that.
Okay. Well, see, a lot of times, a lot of guys are very, very funny and very dark, but they don't do anything with their lives, because what they're doing is they're using the humor to gain some positive attention instead of actually doing the thing that they would prefer to do. And they wind up secretly hating themselves. You know who's a great example of this, and I hate to say it? A great example of this, and I hate to say this, but I've realized it over time, is you know, Mr. Medicare. Do you follow him online?
No, but I have heard from him.
Okay, so other guys on the chat might know. But the point of I'm bringing him up is that, see, he's a guy who has a very dark sense of humor, but he does not try to have an impact in the wider world. He has a huge fan base, but he's afraid to try, because ultimately you're afraid to fail. Okay, and fearing failure is very natural. And what happens is that most people, they are so afraid of failure sometimes that they don't actually do anything. They sort of like just sit there. Okay. And so what you have to do, what you have to learn to do, is to overcome your fear of failure and recognize that failure is not that big of a deal. And the way you do that is by consciously trying to do things and failing. Okay. And what happens is that guys who are not that attractive, guys who are not that charismatic, they tend to try more and they tend to fail more. Okay. Now, attractive guys, they don't try that much because they don't need to, because a lot of times, because of their attractiveness, things just come their way. And so what an attractive guy has to do is that he has to try harder. And what happens with ugly guys, or what happened with myself, for instance, is that, see, if I didn't try, nothing was going to come my way. I had to.
You were hungry.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're good looking, you know, you're kind of like, well, you know, I'm a little bit hungry, but not that hungry.
That's the problem. That's the thing.
Okay. And you gotta simply get over that hump yourself, and nobody can do it except you. Simple as that. Okay.
Yeah. Lastly, no more questions. I just wanted to, if you try like Vivance drug, you know, the concentration. I just wanted to put it out to you if you wanted to try it out. Vivance.
Okay. I'll.
It is absolutely fantastic.
Vivance. Is that the?
I'm gonna write it.
I think he means Vyvanse.
Vyvanse. That's
how do you spell that? How do you spell that?
Vyvanse.
Yes.
Wait, repeat that, please.
Vyvanse. It's like a It's like a milder version of Ritalin.
Yeah, I know a lot of CEOs and doctors who use it. It's like
Really?
a hidden secret.
Okay, I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out. What the hell? Why not?
No,
I'll
that's
tell
it,
you a bit
coach.
about Vyvanse. Oh,
Take it easy, man.
okay.
What? No, I was talking to Split. What's that Patreon? What's your actual name? Why don't you put your actual name?
Oh, just to, I guess, be a little.
Okay, go ahead. What's
But
on your mind?
anyways, so my question was, I've been dating this woman for like, close to 2 years now, and she has.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
Mm-hmm.
So,
how old is she?
She's 21. So
good looking, bad looking, medium. What's she on the 10 scale?
I would say from 10, she's about a 7.
Okay.
Her face 7, but body I would say like 9.
Okay. Good on you.
Thank you. Anyways, so she has introduced me to her family, her friends.
She's very serious about you. Yeah.
She has integrated me into her entire social milieu, right? Whereas me, on the other hand, no one besides myself in my life knows about her. I'm the only one that knows about her, right?
Okay.
And about 2 years, and that drives her nuts. The fact that my parents don't know about her, none of my friends know about her. And then, so now that
why are you embarrassed by her?
No, I mean, I'm not embarrassed by her.
Yeah, you are. Because if you were proud of her, you'd show her off to your friends and family.
But see, that's the thing. I'm the kind of person where I like to
give me this shit.
Things very private. I really do.
No. That's a lie. I don't know who you're lying to. You're certainly not lying to me. You're lying to yourself. You're embarrassed by her. What is it about her that doesn't fit your social conception of your mate?
Well, I get. Okay. Well, see, here's the thing. Like, she's like really ambitious and like this like big strong career woman. Her mom is the VP of like at Maersk, right? Like very like like $500,000 type of median household she comes from.
Sure.
And she's sort of the same way. And I'm Indian, right? So
and she's what, white or Indian?
She's Indian, just like me. Same religion, everything.
Same caste?
No, different caste. But
is she lower or higher?
She's higher than me, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then what's then that caste thing? You would find it uncomfortable to take her over. Are you embarrassed by your friends and family, and that's why you don't want to have them meet her?
No. The caste thing.
Yes, you are. Come on, man. I mean, face facts. Okay. See, look, it's perfectly normal that you're dating somebody, and you're like, I definitely want to show her off to my friends and family. It's perfectly normal. If you are saying to yourself, I definitely do not want to show her off to my friends and family, it's because either you're embarrassed by her or embarrassed by your friends and family. Which is it?
I guess by her, because of just how like career driven she is, and I don't know.
There's more to it than that.
Because like,
I mean, look, I'm not trying to psychoanalyze you. Okay. I'm not trying to be a dick.
Yeah.
But see, the vast majority, I'm talking 99.99% of people, okay, guys and girls, see, when the whole issue of bringing a mate or a possible mate to the parents, that is a huge step psychologically, because it's basically saying, this person, I can see myself with them forever. See, because like, okay, you meet some girl, like a one-night stand, and she's hot and she fucks your brains out, right? Do you really want to present her to your mother and your grandmother? Fuck no. She's a one-night stand. She's practically a whore, right? So you not wanting to have her meet your parents or your friends, there's something going on your end. Okay, you got to figure out what the fuck that is. And you're saying that it's because that she's a career woman. No, that's not it, because that's not a reason to be embarrassed by her.
Well, no, I mean, here's the thing. Like in our culture, when you bring someone to your parents, it's like you're getting married to them, right? So
so you don't want to get married to her.
And because of this career thing and how adamant she is towards her career, that is a big like stepping you know, that's a big hurdle for me to jump over, because
then tell her, look, we're not going to happen. And I'm not going to present you to my family unless you focus on having a family, because I want a family, because I don't want to be married to a career woman. Tell her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
I mean, don't pussyfoot around this issue, because your relationship is just a waste of time, and you're wasting her time and your time. Okay. And you guys are fucking, I assume, right?
Mhm.
Okay, then it's great fucking, but the bottom line is that you're actually hurting her long term, because she can find some other guy, you know? I mean, it'll be heartbreak and the whole thing, but, you know, she'll move on, and so will you. You stringing her along and having no intention of being with her because of her ambitions. You should do the honest thing and say, "Look, dude, you know, quit it with the quit it with the career shit. If I want a woman, I mean, tell her the following. This is what I would do in your shoes. Okay, you do
Mhm.
as you see fit, but this is me in your shoes. I tell her, honey, see, I think you're fantastic. I think you're pretty, you're smart, you're everything. I am not going to present you to my friends and family for a very simple reason. You have goals that are incompatible with mine. I want to have a family. I want a woman who's going to have children with me and take care of those children while I go out and make the money. And you are very, very clearly on this career track. If that's how you really feel, then I think that we should break up, because there's no future in our relationship. I want a woman who's going to have children with me. You should tell her. Just tell her flat out. Don't fuck around, you know? And, you know, because she's brought up the issue that you haven't presented her to your friends or family. Well,
Mhm.
you tell her, look, I'm simply not going to take you to meet my mother and father, because it would raise their illusions that you and I are going to happen, but we are never going to happen, because, I mean, unless you decide otherwise, because you keep saying that you want to have a big career and all that shit. I don't want to be married to a career woman. I want to be married to a woman who's going to be the mother of my children, and who's going
Mhm.
to focus 100% of our attention on our children. That's not the case with you. Tell me now, and we'll break up. You know, we'll break up as friends and just move on with our lives. But if you want the same thing that I want, you know, a strong family with lots of kids and a lot of happiness and love in a cozy little house, well, then we can talk, and then I'll be happy to take you home and shit like that. I mean, that's what I would do. Okay.
Mhm.
You're a grown man, you figure it out. But don't string her along, because
Okay.
it's wasting her time and your time. But
So
also, don't break up like without telling her why. See,
right.
this is a key issue. See, if you simply say, "Okay, we're done," she's going to be like, "What the fuck happened?" You know, 2 years thrown away for no reason. I mean, that will drive her around the bend. That would be cruel. Okay,
Mhm.
you should be upfront. Yeah.
And so I guess the follow-up question off that would be like, how would you keep the sex going if you do break up? Like you break
You're
up.
not going to keep it going, man. Just break up. Be a grown up and go and find somebody else, man. Come on.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, like, look, every decision has a negative consequence, right?
Okay.
And a positive consequence. Yeah, you lay down the law with this chick. It seems to me that you're chicken about laying down the law. Okay. Tell her, this is my objective. This is what I want. And if you want to be a part of that, great. And we can continue. If you don't, then let's move on. Go our separate ways. But you saying, well, you know, how can I keep on with the fucking? Dude, come on, man. I mean, no, that's fucking, you know, wanting to have your cake and eat it too. You can't do that. Okay. So yeah,
Okay.
that's my thinking.
Thank you. Thank you, coach.
No problem.
I know you said that you didn't really want to touch on other things besides dating
Sure.
and
Go ahead. If it's
Okay.
quick, no problem.
Yeah, really quick. So I recently just acquired a commercial real estate license. I'm here in Chicago,
Uh-huh.
and I was just wondering which. So the first thing, which so I'm business management at Northwestern. I'll graduate.
Okay. What's your question?
So okay. Would you prefer that? What would be more lucrative, going into commercial real estate or
I
going
have no
into some
idea.
sort of?
I have no idea. Okay. I mean, no, that's beyond my purview. I can never. I
Okay.
don't know what's more lucrative than commercial real estate or being an astronaut. I have no fucking idea. You figure it out. That's your problem. I
And
mean, I
then
can tell you, like, being a writer, you know, which one's more lucrative, writing novels or writing magazine pieces. I can't even tell you that because I don't know the markets today. No, that's your fucking problem. Okay, you got to figure that out.
And
okay?
and you mentioned really briefly. You mentioned about interest rates at their being at their lowest right now. I was just wondering. A lot of people are predicting that the interest rates are going to go up, and because of that, a lot of the real estate prices, which are inflated at the moment, they're going to come down.
Yeah.
So I have about 30 grand saved up.
I can't give financial advice. I simply can't. Okay. Because I don't know if I'm going to be breaking some law, but I don't want to run the risk of that. So
I understand.
Okay.
All right. Thank you for your insights.
Take it easy, man.
Thank you. You as well.
Who's GRP?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah. How's it going?
Awesome. Oh, really good. I have a question, but I also, after I ask you the question, I want to give my experience relating to the topic that I want to talk about, because I think it can be interesting to a lot of people.
Okay.
So the question is
short, brief, to the point.
Okay,
go ahead.
Do you know what salt dating is?
Salt dating?
Right.
No, what's that? What's salt dating?
So you know sugar dating, right?
Yeah.
Where these young hot girls go on this seeking arrangements website and they meet older guys with a lot of money and they meet up and they get paid for dates.
Yeah, I've actually experimented with that, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, because I told you, I went to like a bunch of different dating sites. And what I discovered was that on the seeking arrangement, there are actually 3 kinds of girls on it. The first kind of girl, what I did was that I set up fake profiles in like Paris and New York and Los Angeles. So there are, it was actually really easy because I just had to change my location and presto, I was in a totally different market. Yeah. Because some dating apps, you can't change the location. You're set. Like you can't change your age. That's set. But interestingly, you could change the age and the location.
True. Now, and you can even change your net worth at your whim.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So that was another thing that was like, you don't want to be too little, but you don't want to be too much. It was like that was actually tricky part. It was like the net worth and the annual income. Yeah. Well, okay. So about the sugar dating or seeking arrangement, there are 3 kinds of girls I know, and it was really easy and fast to discover this. There are girls who are basically prostitutes,
right?
Girls who are, they want you to go off to some other platform as quickly as possible, and they make it clear that it's prostitution, and some of them just to say, I want roses. That was the expression. They want 300 roses. That was 300 euros or $300, right? Per meeting. Okay, fine. Yeah, prostitutes. And I figured there was about like a third of the girls there were prostitutes. A quarter to a third, something like that. Then there was a substantial segment I noticed of girls who posted, and they were on for like 2-3 days or a week perhaps, and then they just abandoned the profile and never returned. And they were all like, I need money desperately. They were obviously girls who were just desperate for cash. They wanted cash as quickly as possible, and they were stressed about it. And they figure, they were desperate. And so they were like going on there to see if they could get somebody to give them money. And the third category was really interesting. It was girls, women, who were bored with the guys of their age group. They found them stupid and boring, and they wanted something more exciting, and they didn't have a problem with age. That was surprising, because I had this impression or this thought or this idea that most women rather, on a sugar dating site would be like, oh yeah, he's an old guy, but I fuck him and I get some money. But no, these girls were like, I don't really care. I just want somebody interesting. And that was eye-opening.
Indeed.
And it actually makes a lot of sense. The Russians have a saying that a man can look like a monkey, but it doesn't really matter so long as he's like tough and strong, and he's got resources. Not resources in the sense of like money, but he's and so that actually makes a lot of evolutionary sense, that a young woman would not think twice about a guy who's 40, 45, 50, 55 even. Yeah, because I also changed my age to see what responses I would get. And there was one group of girls, I'd say maybe 10%, that they were using the Seeking Arrangement website to get a better class of boyfriend. And so they had a hard ceiling of how old the boyfriend could be.
Yeah.
But the majority of it, and I'm not talking about the hookers. The hookers didn't care how old you were, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the girls who were desperate didn't care. I mean, of that subgroup, that I would say was it was actually pretty big. I would guess like about 40% that wanted somebody interesting and who wasn't counting pennies and could take them out to a nice dinner and shit like that, and was interesting, you know, like a grown up. They wanted a grown up. That's the thing. And I noticed too that their profiles, their description of their profiles was very mature. And here's the other thing that I found really surprising. There were a lot of women who said that they were marriage minded. I was shocked, but it makes a lot of sense.
I've seen that. I've seen it a lot.
Yeah, because they're like thinking to themselves, you know, I'm marriage minded. I want to have babies. On this site, they're going to be guys with a lot of money, and they'll be able to afford babies and a house and all that good shit. And so it makes sense, you know. It's really interesting. Yeah. But anyway, I'm sorry, I totally cut your flow.
No. I'm grateful for the explanation. I'm glad to see that you have experience with this. So I'm actually 23 years old.
Yep.
I'm making quite a lot of money,
mm-hmm.
and I moved to Eastern Europe recently.
Mm-hmm.
I'm currently in Bulgaria.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where I'm trying this. And what I did is I set up a profile. I said that I was 28 years old, because if I put
how old do you look? Because you sound sound older.
Yeah, everyone says I look 28, 30, so that's what I put. I put that I'm 28 years old on the website.
Uh-huh.
I put a couple of pictures, a selfie and a picture of me driving a nice car.
Mm-hmm.
And I said my net worth to 2 million, even though it's not my real net worth. But whatever, who cares?
Yeah,
you know?
it's.
I put my actual real annual income, which is $200,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I just left the profile there. I paid for the $100 membership.
Yeah.
And I started getting messages, which was the first time that it happened to me, because obviously on Tinder, even if you have a ton of matches, the percentage of girls who are going to be messaging you first is very, very low. So
I didn't get messaged first. I didn't get any messages first.
I got quite a few, and a lot of girls were like surprised about the age.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, if thinking, I mean, what you're describing, it would be two issues. Number one, your age, and number two, the fact that you're in Bulgaria and there probably aren't that many. Are you in Sofia?
I'm in Sofia. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are about 200 girls.
Yeah, there aren't that many guys on this.
I created a fake profile as a girl here in Sofia, and there's about 100 guys.
Yeah.
And there's only 10 guys who are below 30, and of these 10 guys, 5 don't even have a profile picture. The others, they don't seem very interesting. My profile was rating first.
And so that's what happened, okay? Because of the age, and also because there are few new guys. And so probably these girls, you know, whenever they're on the site, they go immediately to new members, you know, and so that's how you popped up. That's why you got so many responses. Because I didn't get any first contact, no matter what age. I fluctuated from 35 to 60. And at no age group did I get a first message. But I got, at any age, I got roughly 50% responses, you know. Of course, if you do a retard DM, initial DM, opening DM, like, what's up? Nobody answers you. Exactly. You have to actually say something, say something relatively coherent. And but it was really interesting. I thought it was a very interesting site, and makes a hell of a lot of sense. I mean, I would say that the Seeking Arrangement site is the best site for guys. But
it is. I'm surprised.
But you actually need the money.
Because
to some extent. Yeah, because well, first of all, it's expensive. It's $100 a month.
Yeah.
And that automatically makes it like, limits, because not that many people are willing to spend $100 a month for multiple months, right? Number one. And number two, if you go on a date, I never actually went on a date because I wasn't even in the fucking cities I was doing.
I have, and that's what I want to get to, because
You gotta take them to a nice place and show them that you're not a bum. Because if you say, oh yeah, I earn $250,000 a year, my net worth is $5 million, and then you take them to McDonald's, they're gonna fuck off. You know what I mean? So yeah, you got to take them to a nice place. And so it is a thing that screens out guys, and also I think too that a lot of guys think to themselves that this is I think it intimidates them, because having this notion that you got to show that you've got cash. Yeah, not that many guys can do it. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a very interesting site, like all of these sites. It's like the reverse of Tinder. Tinder prioritizes you looking good, and if you don't look good, I mean, you can be extremely handsome in real life, but if you're not photogenic, which is very specific, you're fucked. There are lots of people who are extremely attractive and charismatic in person, and you're like, this person is objectively hot, but they don't look good on a picture. And of course, there are, like, I met them, like fashion models. Most of them look a little weird. The ones who appear in magazines, they look not healthy. They look weird, but they photograph beautifully. It's a thing of the camera. But anyway, what's your question, by the way? I've been talking and yapping away.
More than a question, I just wanted to share my experience because it might be helpful to some people.
Yeah.
So I started messaging these girls, and what you said about the prostitutes is very true. About 20 to 30% of the girls were just like, like we meet and that
we fuck. Yeah.
That much. They didn't say necessarily we fuck. They were like, let's have a party in your hotel or in your apartment.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, to all these sites, I always have a male profile and a female profile.
Right.
Okay.
That's what I did.
And the female profile, I have like different sets of pictures. One of them is of women I actually dated. So it's pretty funny, actually. But anyway, what happened was one of them, this was in New York. I set up, let me rephrase that. I set up a profile and claimed that I was in New York. I was nowhere near it, right? Yeah. And there was this one guy, he was a British guy, and he was willing to pay me $500. And what he wanted me to do, and we negotiated this on DMs, and I'm the woman, right? He wanted the girl. Let's not talk about me. Let's talk about the fictitious girl that I made up, right? He wanted her to go to his hotel room. Okay, he had a suite. Okay, and he showed pictures of it, and it was he with a little sign, like the date and essay, and so it was like for real. Yeah. He wanted the girl to go to his hotel suite and stand at the doorway while he lay on his bed and masturbated. And he would pay her $500. And I'll tell you right now, if I'd been the hot girl of the pictures and I'd been in New York, I would have gone. Because he said, no, you don't have to take off your clothes. You don't have to do anything. You just have to stand there and watch me while I masturbate.
That's crazy.
Oh, man. I mean, it was just like, dude, I'd do this. I mean, of course, I would never. I don't know.
You could have hired.
I could have hired a prostitute for $300 and made the difference. Yeah. Exactly. Actually, man, you're totally killing my vibe, because now I realize I could have called up like an escort service in New York and say, hey, go to this hotel room.
This is actually a business model. Let's create a ton of profiles.
That's pretty
major
funny.
Cities and do this.
Yeah, that's funny. But anyway, that was one of my experiences. Yeah, all of these sites are extremely addictive, and the most disappointing for me was Tinder, and because it was just all the picture, and I realized that Tinder is just a way for girls to feel good about themselves, and they have no interest in meeting anybody. because I experimented with a bunch of different photographs. And at one point, I used a set of photographs of an actual male model, and no response. No response at all. It was depressing. And OkCupid, what was my experience? It was dowdy and boring. They were boring girls, and they were all like chubby.
OkCupid is like cat women, right?
Yeah, they were all chubby.
And chubbier girls.
Yeah, chubbier girls. Hinge was like professional girls, and there was this. What's the name of this?
Bumble.
I never got into it. Raya, I think it is.
I'm not familiar with it.
Let me find. Yeah, Raya, which is supposed to be like an upscale kind of like invite only, but I never got an invite, so I was never able to join. But I wanted to join it. That'd be interesting. But yeah, it never happened. But yeah, it's very interesting. But yeah, if you're interested in sugar dating, yeah. But you said salt dating. What is salt dating?
Yeah, so salt dating is what I'm trying to do, and I've had success with this so far.
Okay.
So of all the girls that I was talking with, I discarded the 20-30% who were hookers, and then I had a lot of girls, especially here in Eastern Europe. They're just students who want to meet a nice guy who will take care of them, who will pay for their tuition if necessary, who will take them to nice dinners, and so on.
Yeah,
so I got a lot of interest from such girls, and they are extremely attractive. I'm talking 8s, 9s, and 10s.
Sure, they're young. That's why they're hot.
Young and beautiful. Because on Tinder you have a lot of hot girls, but you also have a large amount of average-looking girls or even ugly girls.
Sure.
But here, the vast majority are extremely good-looking.
Yeah.
And I have been on 2 dates already, banged on both dates. The only expenses I had were the dinner at a fancy restaurant, which in Sofia, a fancy restaurant is
not expensive,
like $100 for something very, very fancy. It was that expense, then taxi back to my place, and also a taxi from their place to the restaurant, because I wanted to bring them directly from their place to the restaurant in a taxi to make it more fancy for them. So I just treated it like a Tinder date. I was gaming them. We didn't talk about money at all, like nothing transactional, just pure seduction, nice dinner, nice drinks. And in both instances, I banged the girls. One of the 2 girls is now texting me nonstop. She wants to meet again. And I have to be careful because she's extremely hot. And the problem with this girl is I don't really trust her, because she was talking about how all her friends are getting pregnant. And I'm a bit scared,
Yeah. That's how old is she?
She's 19.
No,
extremely beautiful.
I'm sure, but yeah, that's a little.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, try it out, okay? And look, at the end of the day, leaving a few bastards here and there is not that big of a deal. Now, I'm speaking frankly. A lot of guys have like this huge hang up, like, oh, I don't want to get her pregnant, shit like that. Because what happens is that in the States and Western Europe, you can get really fucked over by the state, especially if you're an employee. That is, if you have a job where you get a paycheck. But if you're an entrepreneur and you organize your shit, just semi-competently, you're untouchable. In a realistic sense, see. If you structure your finances in such a way that you don't get any income and that all of your expenses are business related one way or the other, then, what the fuck are they going to do? They can sue you and they take half your salary, and you've assigned yourself a salary of $1,000 a month, just for purposes of keeping everything organized and work contracts and shit like that. So, okay, they take half of $1,000 a month. That's $500.
No big deal.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the worst case scenario. And that's the West, right? In Eastern Europe and shit like that, yeah, I mean, you have a moral obligation, okay? But like a legal obligation where you can get really divorce raped and fucked over and they take all your assets and that kind of shit, not in any place that is not Europe or North America, okay? So leaving a few bastards here and there is no big deal, okay? And like, guys freak out about it, but I don't know. I don't get it. Anyway,
I actually have a third. I have a third date in 1 hour. We're gonna see how that one goes.
Good luck, man.
So
Tell us how it goes.
Just to wrap it up before you bring Igor on.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say, if you're a guy with a decent income and you're tired of Tinder, Bumble, just traditional online dating, create a profile, lie a little bit if you have to, talk to these girls. You're going to find that a large percentage of these girls, they are not really prostitutes. They just want someone who's going to take care of them.
Yeah, that's what they want.
Take them to nice places, and someone who's more responsible than the average guy they can find. And you'll be surprised because you're going to be dating girls who are way hotter than you're used to dating. They are going to be way more proactive than any girl you can find on Tinder. And if you treat the date like you would treat any other date, you're going to have amazing results.
Yeah.
That's
anyway, good talking to you, GRP. Take it easy.
Thank you very much. It was a delightful conversation.
Good to talk to you. Hey, Igor, how's it going? You got to mute yourself. Oh, there you are.
Good evening, Mr. Gonzalo. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. And yourself?
Great. I'm very happy that we are doing Q&A. And before I ask my question, I would like to give you a bravo for the great podcast you did with Black Pigeon Speaks, Mr. Felix and Mr. Alex and Alexander from the Duran. I really liked it, and I like that you're connecting the community of the dissident right, or dissident intellectuals, for the matter of fact.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun talking with those guys. They're smart people. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Always a pleasure. Yeah. So what's on your mind, Igor?
To be honest, I had a bunch of off-topic questions, but I will adapt this one to dating, because on the one side, we should go and date and network, but what to do about viral shedding? Because you cannot go
what to do about what?
Viral shedding of the untested medicine.
Because don't associate with people who've been vaccinated.
Well, this is the thing. You have smoking and non-smoking cafes. You don't have non-viral shedding cafes. So
yeah, that's look. If I were you, I'd just be patient about this whole thing, because over this winter, we're going to see all kinds of changes. Okay. Because Gibraltar is it's a very small territory, of course, but they have 100% vaccination rate, and they have the highest incidence of COVID ever. Okay, and something similar has happened in Austria and Germany. See, I think that we should just be patient. We who are unvaccinated, just be patient. Wait until like February, March. I think that over the next 120 days or so, we are going to see a lot of panic and hysteria, and eventually they're going to realize, oh no, it's the vaccine. I think that over the next 4 or 5 months, people are finally going to start saying, heart attacks in children are not fucking normal. Heart attacks in professional soccer players
Jesus fucking
is not fucking normal. Okay, a 25-year-old woman should not be having a stroke. And so fuck off that it's normal, fuck off that it's marijuana, fuck off that it's, no, it's the vaccine. And people are going to realize it, okay? The thing is, Mark Twain said it best, it's easy to fool people, but it's very, very difficult to show them that they have been fooled, because nobody wants to admit to the fact that they were fooled, but they've been fooled, okay? And so you just got to be patient and wait for them to come around. You don't have to do anything. Just get out of their way. And the viral shedding thing, well, in my case, like here in Ukraine, very few people are vaccinated. So that's a good thing. But I mean, like 10%, 15% in the whole fucking country, and most of that is concentrated in Kiev. Here in Kharkov, most of them think that it's bullshit. And most of them paid $20, $30 or the equivalent of $20, $30 to get a fake they have an official government approved certificate.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
they didn't get vaccinated, and there's no way to prove that they didn't get vaccinated. Okay, that's the beauty of it. Okay, so yeah, I of course am not saying that that's a good thing, and I certainly would never do such a thing. I would, if I decide to get a vaccine shot, I will get it for sure, for real, and my certificate will be honest. But I have chosen not to do so at this time, But anyway, insofar as the vaccine shedding is concerned, it's a concern, and it's a legitimate concern, because of reasons that we've all gone over quite briefly. For those of you who might not know, in my own experience, I know women who have not vaccinated, who have told me that they have had really weird menstrual cycles when they're in the presence of people who have been vaccinated, including men who have been vaccinated. And one of the telltale signs of the vaccine is that a lot of women have very irregular menstrual cycles after they're vaccinated. Very heavy menstrual cycles, and also irregular. And this is from women who are grown women, adult women who've been menstruating for, a couple of decades and no problem. And all of a sudden, all kinds of problems here. Okay. And women who have not been vaccinated, unvaccinated women, in the presence of men or women, of either sex, who have been vaccinated, all of a sudden their menstrual cycles also go a little bit nuts. And so I'm guessing that something is being shed. Okay. Viral shedding is actually a different thing. By the name implies, it's shedding of a virus. But what is being shed here is like some substance that is being produced by people that is related to the vaccine. It could be these spike proteins, okay, or it could be something else, okay, that is yet to be discovered. But
thank you, Coach. I got that. And before I ask you my final question, I just want to thank you because I never got the opportunity. Because I treat this as basically you said my life, because I was very close to being peer pressured into doing you know what, and the stuff you posted in group, it helped me a lot, because at the moment a lot of people from my peer group and family were like getting it, and I was like, am I the crazy one? Because it's very rarely that you are the guy who is telling the truth. And the video of Mark Zuckerberg telling subtly telling his employees don't get it, not because he's nice guy, but because they're very expensive assets. It's very hard to get smart wage hacks.
yeah.
So that encouraged me very much. And Dr. Malone, Malone, who
Robert Malone.
Yes,
Malone.
Sorry,
For those of you,
oh Jesus fucking Christ! I'm mistaking the guy for a pop star. Sorry.
No, don't worry about it. But Robert Malone is the guy that everybody who's listening in chat, you should check him out. He's got a Telegram channel. He posts. He's the guy who invented mRNA vaccine, even though on Wikipedia they've erased him. But remember, Wikipedia, any editor can erase anything. Okay, and they've erased him because they don't want to acknowledge the fact that the guy who invented the mRNA vaccine in the 90s thinks that this is a horrible idea. So yeah, that's what's going on. Anything else on your mind, Igor?
Yes. The last question was, this is slightly off topic, but
Sure.
You said that going to Africa is a smart thing, but I'm extremely scared of tropical diseases, because I know firsthand the guy who suffers consequences from tropical disease, and he was the ambassador of my country. So that is as clean as you get. They were provided in the embassy all the food they will eat, and they had very few contact with the local people. He did not go have any sexual contact, and yet he still got some disease that even today they cannot figure out what it is in Germany. So, and I was like, fuck Africa, man, fuck money. It's not worth. It's not worth.
Well, yeah. Look, if you're not up for it, don't worry. There are lots of other places that you can find an adventure. The point is, see, if you're young, go out and get into an adventure. Okay, don't sit in your home country waiting for life to come to you. You have to go out and get life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So anyway, Igor, great talking to you, and hope to see you next time. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Guzala. Bye.
Bye. Hey, dude from Germany, how's it going?
Hi, I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you fine. What's on your mind, man?
All right, perfect. So in your last webinar, you kind of mentioned that it's kind of important that she sucks your D.
Yeah.
So my question.
No. But actually, if we're being really brutally like on the money, okay, you should face fuck her, okay, not just like have her like suck your dick. No, like just grab her head and just face fuck her, okay. It's a dominance thing. It's a dominance thing, okay. See, you got to be careful. You don't want to injure her by accident. Okay. But yeah, see the whole issue. Okay. You have to understand that when you're fucking a girl and you're fucking her real good, okay, not the first time, okay, this face fucking her, you don't do it the first time, no, because the first time you have sex with somebody, you're like trying each other out, you're seeing what works, what they like, what they don't like, and it's awkward, and you're self-conscious, and the whole thing. So the first time you fuck, it's like, yeah, it's like when we're talking about the third, fourth, fifth time. That's when you always have to be upping the game and always demanding more, okay? With each sexual encounter, demanding more, and things that make her more compliant. The whole point is to get her to comply. When I told you, like on the third date, you should take her to like a gun range or to some, to teach her some sport that's fun, not frustrating, right? All of that is so that you direct her, you tell her, do this, do that, move your body here, move your legs there, your arm, do this, whatever. See, that's the point of these exercises, to get her to comply with your wishes. And you play your cards right. You do the same thing when you're having sex with her, and you're always upping the ante, always increasing your demands on her, getting her to comply. And also remember, you can't be asking something here and then make a giant leap. You have to be little by little, okay? And so you gotta understand that. Yeah. So anyway, you were saying about fellatio. What about it?
Yeah. So I'm meeting this girl, and I did basically all those compliance tests. And my question would be like, what would you do if she still like refuses to suck the D, like after multiple intimate encounters, even though like the sexual chemistry is great, and she.
Have you fingered her ass?
I did, yeah.
Okay, like the way I explained with the condom around your fingers.
Yeah.
How did that go?
Well, basically, as you mentioned in the video, she was like kind of confused in the first moment, but she seemed to not bother as much. But it didn't go further from that.
Okay, well, here's a key issue, dude. See, you have to show physical dominance, not by hurting her or doing anything of the sort, but just physical confidence on your part, okay? And the whole issue of fingering her anus is that you have to be fingering it and putting another finger and another finger. It's always, more fingers, and eventually having anal sex with her, okay? And pushing her in that direction. If she doesn't want to give you oral sex, that's fine. Then push her in the direction of anal sex, okay? And that's what you have to do. You have to constantly be pushing the boundaries and just wanting more from her, getting her more to comply. See? And you should think of it very systematically. Like, first I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to do that. You see, like little steps, constantly increasing. And if she says, no, don't do that, you just back off. It's like you're rising up, you go up, you go up, you go up. And she says, no, don't do that. And you go 2-3 steps back and you wait there patiently for a little bit. And then you start pushing again. You see what I'm saying? That's how you get her to comply. Okay. And, this is what you should do, by the way. I saw a video on Pornhub. It's some blonde-haired guy, really good looking, who's a porn star. And he shows you how to do the following. And it's a video called Getting a Girl to Squirt. I'm not kidding. Actually, I'm going to look it up real quick here because it's just fucking hilarious. Okay?
Okay.
Getting a girl who... Yeah, because it's fucking hilarious. But I'm telling you that this guy, he knows what the fuck he's doing. Because
all science, I guess.
Yeah, because it's science. And this guy, he's like this blonde, what you call it, porn actor. He sounds Swedish. Let me see. I can't seem to find it. Oh man, because it was just so fucking funny. I saw it and I'm like, this is just funny. But this guy knew what he was doing because it worked. He showed by actually doing it on some girl in this porn video, right? And it worked really well. And the thing is, see, well, you're gonna have to find it for yourself. But the point is that see the what you would call it, this Swedish guy. He was this blonde Swedish guy. He's like all naked, with his erect cock, and he's talking to the camera like it's an instructional video, and it is an instructional video. And it's like the best single description I ever saw of how to get a girl to squirt, because it's like a special technique. But you should study that shit, okay? Because see, the point, I insist, the point of what women want is strong, positive emotions, okay? But strong emotions, okay, and positive emotions for a woman are not necessarily the same as for a guy. For a woman, for instance, it is very positive when the man is in complete control. We men freak out when a woman tries to control us and overpower us, but women welcome it because it's different psychology, okay? Because women are different than men. And so if you are controlling and domineering and tell her, do this, do that, they like it in a way that a guy would not. I mean, if some woman starts telling me, do this, do that, move your leg here and do there, I'd say, fuck off, get the fuck away from me, cunt. But women are different. Women like this, okay? Even professional women. There is a reason that most women fantasize about a Nazi stormtrooper having sex with her, okay? They don't fantasize about like sex with a hippie. Huh? Think about it. Why? Right? They like that domination. They need it. Okay. So you provide that for her. Okay. And you provide the strong positive emotion. But what's crucial, dude, is that you have to do so in a way that makes it implicitly clear that you are in control. Don't ever say, can I do this? Can I do that? It's always, I want this. I want that. I want you to get on your belly so I can fuck you from behind. I want you to straddle me so I can relax and you fuck me. I want you to come closer so I can finger your ass. I want. Never can I. Never. Never can I. No, I want. Okay?
Yeah. So
Anything
I would
else?
say that in this regard, I'm a pretty dominant guy. But what would you do if she still refuses to suck the D? I think it seems like she still has some kind of blockade in terms of that. Do you think it's a deal breaker? Maybe some
How old is she and how old are
psychological-
you? How old is she and how old are you?
I'm 27. She's 21.
Okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, do you see her as the future mother of your children, 10, or as a one-night stand, number 1?
I'm not quite sure yet. It's still in the process of finding it out.
But okay, give me a number. Not vagary. What's the number? Is it a 6? Is it a 7? Is it a 4? Is it a 3?
In terms of look, she's a 9.
No. You didn't hear me what I said. See, you're on a scale of 1 to 10. On the 1, that's just a one-night stand. That's some girl that you pick up, fuck, and forget. On the 10 is a girl that you're dating and you see her as the future mother of your children. You see the extremes?
Yeah.
So what is she?
She would be 6.5.
6.5. Do you think that you can find somebody better easily?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, then tell her, look, baby, I want this and I want it now, or else I'll just find somebody else.
Okay.
Yeah. Just I mean, like, if she starts like hesitating, I assume that you want her to give you fellatio, right? Yeah. So look, I like it. I want it. Give it to me, or I'll find somebody who will. Is that okay with you? Just tell her. you know.
Okay.
Or even if you really want to fuck with her head, you can tell her, you know, when you try to get her to give you fellatio and she says no, you say, yeah, it's okay, I already got some. And she's going to be like, what? Yeah, you know, you don't like giving me fellatio, but I really enjoy it, so I got somebody else to suck my dick.
Yeah.
That's the nuclear bomb. Okay, you should find out. You're 27, right?
Right.
Try it. See what her reaction is. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised because what might possibly happen, and this is a real possibility, it might happen that you pull this stunt on her, and it's not that she doesn't break up with you. She winds up giving you fellatio because she doesn't want the other girl to be giving you fellatio. Yeah, simple as
Yeah.
that.
Even,
And this
even
other
though
girl
she,
might not exist. Okay, this other girl might not exist. Seriously. Okay, look,
yeah.
you have to act with this girl and with all women as if they are replaceable. Because if in your mind they are replaceable, they will sense it and they will comply more. You want them to comply with your desires. That's what you want to do. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. And if they
Yeah.
don't, tell her, look, I want this. And either I'm going to get it from you or I'm going to get it from somebody else. Tell her. Don't be shy about it. Don't be shy about losing a relationship. Look, I just nuked my entire channel and I'm going to be doing more content, new content later on, right? Maybe this works, maybe it doesn't. But the point is, they say you got to take a chance, man. Okay. And I believe me, I mean, this, you have to understand what I'm about to say is the truest thing I've ever said. There is always somebody better just around the corner. Always. Okay. So many guys, especially when they're dating somebody hot and young, they think, oh, this is as good as it gets. No, there is always somebody better, hotter, tighter, younger, more willing to fuck, more willing to do whatever you want. Always. Okay. Understand that. Okay.
All right. Yeah,
Okay.
I understand
Anything
that.
else, my man?
Yeah, sure. Another question would be like, don't you think that day game, i.e., like approaching girls on the street, is way superior to online dating, which
Absolutely.
takes too much work?
Well, no. See, if you do online dating right, you can cover a lot of ground and get in touch with a lot of women very quickly. Okay, like an afternoon, you can direct message, say 100, 200 women even. I mean, you're not going to write an individual, you come up with a few openers that are decent, funny, that catch her eye. And yeah, you can contact 100 women, 200 women, no problem. But
Yeah.
the impact of actually meeting somebody on the street and talking to them and just charming them is always going to be more superior because it's always going to be more memorable. You're always
Yeah.
going to have like a memory, and the girl will have that memory. Oh yeah, that guy that I was in the supermarket, and he just rolled right up to me and said, "Hey, you're really pretty, and you seem like just from the look of you that you'd be smart, and I wanted to talk to you. Hi, my name is dude from Germany." She'll remember that. It's memorable, you know. So yeah, it's talking to somebody IRL is always better than online. Always.
Yeah. Yeah, I also found that like talking to girls on the street is way more effective in
Yep.
terms of the response rate and stuff like that. And
What's your response been?
what do you mean exactly?
Okay, number one, how would you rate yourself physically in terms of looks? You're 27. Are you a 10 or are you a 1 or where are you on the 10 scale?
I would say I'm decent looking. I have good pictures and stuff like that.
Okay. So,
yeah, maybe an 8.
okay, very good. And so you go up to girls on the street, and what's been the response?
I'm in Eastern Europe, to be honest, so it's been quite positive so far. Like,
Where are you in Eastern Europe?
I'm in Minsk, Belarus right now.
Okay.
So I would say like 50% of the time when I'm approaching girl, I get the number or Instagram, whatever. And after that, like 30 or 40 times, I will get a date.
Sure.
Of those numbers. So yeah.
Yeah. It's wait. From 30 approaches that you get the number, you get one date.
No, I get 50 numbers and 50
Oh.
numbers and
Okay. So you mean of all the numbers that you collect, you get roughly 60% of the dates from those numbers.
Yeah, for example, I get 30 numbers and 15 of them are willing to go on a date.
Okay, or 50%. Okay, the way you're phrasing it is extremely confusing. Why don't you say of the girls that give me their number, half of them date me? That would be easier. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
what you're saying is very confusing. 60 numbers, 50 numbers. I'm like, because at one point you were saying, or what I understood you saying was that of 30 telephone numbers, you only got a single date. And I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck are you doing wrong?
That's quite bad.
Yeah, exactly. And so okay. Yeah, but anyway, that's the issue. Anything else on your mind, dude from Germany?
So my final question, kind of off topic, would be like, what's your motivation behind your plan to establish like a viral community in Kharkov?
I don't know, dissident community.
Are there any new plans or?
Yeah, I'm still mulling it over. Okay, I don't really know. You know, I'm at a crossroads in a lot of different ways. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do exactly.
Okay.
But look, over the next between now and New Year's, everything will become a lot more clear. Okay, because the idea of buying a house, like I mentioned this on my Telegram channel, the idea of buying a house in downtown Kharkov and use it as I called it a dissident landing zone. You know,
Yeah.
the LZ, the landing zone. That the idea was, and it was just an idea that I floated. By the way, I hear myself echoing. Why don't you turn down the volume or use headphones?
Okay, I will turn it down.
The idea was that anybody could show up after an interview, after a pre-screening. Anybody could show up if they came to Kharkov and stay for 30 days, and all they had to do was help out around the house, cleaning up or doing any kind of improvement or any work that needs to be done to keep the house shipshape, right? You know, painting or, you know, cleaning up or whatever the fuck, right? And they could say 30 days, and after that they had to leave. Okay, I mean 30 days is maximum, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they had to stay to eat every night so that they could interact with the other people there, and also people who are like alumni, old fags who had been alumni of this house. They were invited to come over whenever they wanted to and just meet the new guys and help them out, help them, guide them, you know, figure out a place where they could live. And yeah, a place out of the way that would be like a refuge for people who are dissidents from the West and don't want anything to do with it anymore. And it's an idea. What do you think of it?
To be honest, I think it's a great idea. Like what is currently going down in the West, like obviously I'm from Germany, and in Germany we have a complete shit show in terms of COVID and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Especially for those people who refuse to take the shot. So I think it's a great idea. Like the Eastern Europe is a great place to be, especially if you're earning some kind of Western salary and stuff like that. The girls are great. The culture is awesome. The food is great as well. So
I like it a lot. I like it a lot. I think it's great, and I think it's and the West is going down the tubes. It's going totalitarian in some cases. The Austrian lockdown of unvaccinated people. That's like a third of their population. What the fuck are they doing? They're out of their fucking minds,
this is
man.
coming to Germany as well. They're already planning to shut down, lock down all people who haven't vaccinated yet.
Yeah. But like I said before, you know, the next few months, I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that the authorities are panicking because they realize that these vaccines don't work, and they don't want to admit it. And so they're trying to blame the unvaccinated, but the unvaccinated are the one group of people who are going to be fine after this whole shit show. And I feel very, very sorry for the people who have been vaccinated. I think it's going to be very, very bad for them. So anyway, dude from Germany, great talking to you. Let me bring in Chris O.
All right.
And
thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you. Take it easy, man.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hey, Chris O, how's it going, man?
It's going well, Coach. It's been a while.
Yeah, I missed you. I have a little shrine to you. Every day. I pass this shrine in the morning, and I say to myself, when is Chris O going to come back? Chris O, come back!
Well, I had a shrine to you, but you nuked it, so.
How have you been, man? I hope well.
I have been well, ups and downs. I took one of your advice, and I'm actually out of the West right now.
Oh, really? Where are you at?
I'm in the Gulf region.
The Gulf, the Persian Gulf?
Yeah.
Good. I assume in Qatar or Abu Dhabi?
In a large city.
Or Dubai, yeah.
And it's a different world. Obviously there's some ups and downs, but it's a different world, and yeah.
Just watch out for the hookers. Yeah, just watch out for the hookers. The hookers there, yeah.
So,
just every Western girl you meet, by definition, is a whore. Okay, don't kid yourself.
Well, I'm actually in a place where alcohol is outlawed, and basically there's no interaction with women. In my work, there are no women. We're not allowed to interact with women.
So anyway, what's on your mind, man?
Two questions. I mean, in these webinars right now, it's kind of assumed that the women are almost passive, like they're clueless to what's going on. But what do you do? But what do you do when you encounter a woman that strikes your fancy, but it's clear that she has game, that she has experience, she's kind of playing you? Not necessarily she's a slut, but she has experience and she knows how to play the game. And you feel
that happens in Latin America. That happens with, like, for instance, Argentine girls. Argentine girls, they know game inside out, okay? Because all the Argentine men, they're masters at game, okay? Look, Chris O, maybe you know this, and to the audience, maybe they don't. See, if an Argentine shows up at some party, he's going to bang the hottest girl. Because in Argentina, for some reason, and everybody in Latin America can tell you the exact same thing, Argentine guys, first of all, they're fairly decent looking, but there is so much sexual competition in Argentina that all the guys learn game early. They don't call it game, but that's what they do. They have game. They know how to charm girls, and they work it like nobody's business. Okay, and the girls there, since all of the guys, they run game on them, they can see through it, and they know how to run game against guys. And it's like it's an arms race of game in Argentina. And so when an Argentine man goes to another country, he cleans up. He just completely cleans up. And I've seen it. I've seen, like, for instance, there was this Argentine guy at Dartmouth. Holy fuck. The guy nailed just about every fucking hot girl in the whole fucking school. And he just did the shit that he was doing in Argentina. He said, it's fantastic being in America. He loved it. Yeah, of course, because shit that would work like maybe 10% of the time, 15% of the time back in Argentina, in the States, it was working like 85% of the time. He was like a pig in shit. He was happy as could be. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make, I lost track of the point I was trying to make. What the fuck were we talking about?
So what to do when you encounter a woman who has game? Is she a write-off, or can you work with it?
It depends. It depends if she's attracted to you. Okay, simple as that. Okay.
Let's say
a girl who's running game on you, she's attracted to you.
So let's say in a situation like you meet a hot Argentinian girl who is attracted to you, and obviously she wants to get you because she doesn't want to be with these Argentinian guys, right? So she's doing her game against you, and you feel a bit, defensive because you're supposed to play the game, but she's
let her game you. What's the problem? Less effort for you. She wants you, so what the fuck? You don't have to do much. You know what I'm saying?
But then there's that suspicion, like she has game. Maybe she has so much experience that perhaps she has a long past.
Well, yeah, it could be that. It could be lots of stuff. Okay, but you can't overanalyze shit. You gotta take it as it comes. Okay.
Okay.
And you got to like just sort of like go with the flow and find out what's what. You can't like, there are certain things that you can prejudge. Like for instance, like the tattoos. I've said this countless times. Girl with a tattoo, walk away. She's fucked up. It doesn't matter. No, this, that, the other. No, she's fucked up. Okay. No matter how minor the tattoo or small or whatever. I mean, like, no, she's all fucked up. Okay, by definition, because a sensible girl will be like, no, I'm not going to get a tattoo. It's stupid, because it is. Okay, I mean, she might get one of these, temporary tattoos, like henna tattoos or something like that, but that's just for fun. It means nothing because it's temporary, But anyway, insofar as a girl who runs game on you, you're not really going to know what's what. It could be that she grew up with a lot of brothers and she knows when, because she's seen her brothers or some other platonic guy people in her life run game on girls. And so she knows what's going on. Could be that. It could be a whole host of factors. If a girl is running game on you, see, a girl will never run game on you unless she wants you. A girl who doesn't give a shit about you, she's not even going to talk to you. You're invisible to her. You see what I'm saying? So if a girl is running game on you, she wants you. And so you're in like Flynn. I mean, what's the problem? You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. But the problem is, like, I'm actually in an experience where I'm in a situation right now where I feel like girls playing game on me, a very good game. And when I'm flattered, on the other one, I'm a bit suspicious because where did she get all that game from? Like, is she going to be, playing all the shots here?
It's just how old is she? And remind me how old you are and what are the circumstances? I mean, don't be like specific, but tell me more or less the background of this situation.
I'm 40. I'm 40. Yeah. She is early 30s, and we met.
No, there we are. She's fucked a lot of cock hopping. She's early 30s. She wants a kid. She wants a baby. And run away from her. What the fuck are you talking about? There was a video I made. Don't date girls over the age of 25. I know it's gone, but still the lesson remains. Don't date a girl over the age of 25. She's early 30s. She's got a wedding dress in her fucking purse. Okay? So walk away. Dude, it's as simple as that.
Well, I'm treating her as, based on your scale from 10 to 1, I'm treating her as like as a 3.5 in terms of,
Wrong. It's a 1. It's a one night stand. Not even.
Okay.
Because look, here's the deal. See, a girl who's like 30 something, 31, 32, she wants to get married and have a kid. That's her only priority. She's got baby rabies like there's no tomorrow. Her brain, her whole psyche wants a kid. Okay? Because that's her evolutionary diktat. And what happens is the closer she gets to the end of her fertility window, the greater her desperation to have a kid. Okay? Now, her running game on you, yeah, of course, she's fucked so much cock, had so many relationships, fleeting or long-term, that she knows. And that's why she's running game on you. And your mistake is, dude, you are dealing with a girl who is desperate. That's why you don't date a girl over the age of 25. A 31, 32-year-old woman, she's desperate. Okay? And of course, she's manipulating you and maneuvering you. So, yeah, you want nothing to do with her. No. Not even as a fuck buddy. Not even as a, well, I don't have anybody better around, so might as well just, use her as a cum dumpster. Not even as a cum dumpster. Use a sock rather than her as your cum dumpster. Okay? She is, less valuable than a sock. That's the truth.
Well, Coach, you do realize that if we follow all your instructions and eliminate all the categories based on age, tattoos.
Yeah. You get zero. It's an empty set.
It's a really niche situation here.
Well, yeah. Well, look, here's the thing. See, I assume that everybody who listens to me is like me. I'm a guy of quality. Simple as that. I'm not going to go with second best. I'm not going to go with a used car. No. The only kind of used car that I would ever buy is like a classic, like a 1952 Jaguar XK120. That's a used car by definition. That car, sure. But like if I've got like, I don't know, $500,000 to just blow on anything. I'm not going to buy a used Ferrari. I'm going to buy a new one. Of course. You see? I'm not going to fuck a cum dumpster. I'm going to fuck somebody hot, young, and I'm going to tell you, as if I were telling myself, avoid a early 30s woman. Of course. You know? And if that narrows the range and it's fewer women, so be it. But I mean, I've got dignity. I've got self-respect. I assume that everybody else has the same. Okay. I would never date a girl who is 31 or 32. Never. I have done so. And I realized from experience that it was a huge mistake. I once dated for about a week a single mother. It was a fucking disaster. And I realized that this would be horrible for my life. And I quickly ran away from that situation. Okay. I realized, no. This is no. And I'm telling you, I act as if I were speaking to myself when I speak to my audience, to you, to everybody here. Okay. And so that's what I'm telling you. I speak to you guys as if you were my 19-year-old version of me, my 30-year-old version of me, even my 40-year-old version of me. Okay. And so if you say that if you follow all my rules and stuff, you're going to have a very small niche. Well, yeah, but you know, if you're a quality guy and you have self-respect and self-dignity, it's okay. I mean, look, let me ask you this. Do you really want to be married to a whore? Answer me, Chris. Yes or no?
Absolutely not. But at the same time, you know, it's
no. Do you want to be married to a whore? It's a simple question. Yes or no? Up or down?
No.
Okay, then don't associate it with whores. She's 31 in fucking some Persian Gulf city. She's a whore. Move on, dude. It's as simple as that.
Is that much different than doing it with a hooker?
Well, no, because a hooker, you know that she's leaving. Remember, you're paying a hooker to leave. You're not paying her for the sex. You're paying her to leave. Okay? And it's very different. She's just satisfying a need, like, you know, like having your car washed. See? Yeah, it's the truth. A hooker is by definition, she's going to leave. Okay? The girl you're talking about, this 31 or 32-year-old woman, dude, man, she's a fucking nightmare and she's a fucking whore. She is. Don't tell me that she's not. I'm sure that she's a lovely person. I'm sure she's very intelligent and very interesting, and she has a lot of very interesting experiences and a lot of incredible insights. It doesn't take away the fact that she's a whore. You've got to keep that in mind.
All right, Coach, you nuked your videos. Now you nuke our options. There's not much left to live for.
No, there is. There's plenty to live for. There's plenty to live for. Okay. You look, see, you're a 40-year-old guy. You're doing okay money-wise, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And how are your looks? Looks are okay. What? Yeah. Above a 5, above a 6, above a 7? What?
Above a 7, yeah.
Okay. You can pick up girls if you go looking for them, if you position yourself right. Like, for instance, one of the things I was fortunate enough to do in New York, and I've done it several times since, is that, see, I have positioned myself so that I've been able to go to parties with fashion models. Now, how did I do that? Well, because I latched on to people who were peripheral to the fashion scene. The first time was by pure accident. I met a guy at a dog park, a guy called Chris, great guy. I mentioned him before. And Chris was a bond trader, and he had a dog, and I had a dog. He had a big Rottweiler. I had a little puppy at the time, and my puppy and the Rottweiler got to be great friends, and he and I got to be great friends and drinking buddies, and we had a great time. And he had a sister who had this store in New York City, in Soho. And because of this stupid store, she got invited to a lot of fashion events. And she was like, I don't really want to go. And she'd give the tickets to Chris and me, and we'd go. And we'd pretend to be, you know, buyers for this fucking store. And we'd get backstage and meet models and shit. And Chris was a good looking guy. And I was, 32, 33 at the time. So I was like decent looking. And yeah, we got all kinds of lucky. You know, I had a big loft. And so we took advantage of it, and we dated and fucked a lot of hot women. And after that, I realized that what you have to do in any city is you got to figure out an angle to get to fashion models, because fashion models, they are always in groups. They always flock like birds, and they're always ever so slightly insecure. And what they want is a guy who will look after them and take care of them and tell them what to do. And once you lock into that group, you're going to be fine. And I did it when I was living in Chile, in Santiago, after I moved from New York. And I did it briefly, too briefly, when I was living in Paris in 2012. And then I met my future wife. And so that gravy train ended. But the point, you can do this, see? And you narrow your limit, your options precisely so that you can focus on the girls that you really want and not waste your time with girls that with whom you have no future, or you will have a horrible future with. Okay? Yeah.
Absolutely. So this leads to the second question. I'll make it quick.
Sure. So, take your time.
I mean, so once a guy does master game and has all these characteristics, all the infrastructure, isn't it difficult to kind of let the game go once you get married, to kind of wind down once you become a master at a craft? To kind of
no, because it takes effort, and because you're making the effort at seduction. That's what it's all about. See, and what happens is a lot of guys, they're lazy. They think, and they've been taught incorrectly by their mothers, usually single mothers, that, oh, just be yourself and you'll find somebody. And so they act passively, like waiting around, which works for women. It works very well for women because, of course, that's how it works for women in the sense that, all a woman has to do is look pretty and be herself, and some guy will wander around and pick her up, right? But for a guy, it doesn't work, okay? And so a lot of these guys raised by single mothers, they try this strategy and it fails miserably, but they go on for the rest of their lives thinking that if they just passively wait, some hot girl will show up, okay? Guy who learns game knows that that's not the case. They have to go out. A guy has to go out and get the girl. And how does he get the girl? He plays her. He manipulates her. He sweet talks her. He puffs her up to make her feel good. He creates a situation where she feels good whenever she is in his presence. And therefore, she pursues him because she wants that high that only he can give her. That's the whole point of game. But once you lock her down, once she's married with a couple of kids, what? You're not going to be seducing her every fucking day. You don't need to. She's there. You're married. It's done.
But what about all the other women that you see around and kind of, the urge to go back to the game, all these skills that are laying dormant? Don't you have an urge to, keep going? Is that what you mean by the side piece?
Yeah.
Talking about?
Yeah. I mean, it's not complicated, man. See, look, you have to ignore bourgeois morality. And you have to understand that this is the only life that we have. There isn't going to be a reset, a replay, or any shit like that. There is no such thing as reincarnation or any crap like that. There is no God and there is no hell. This is it, okay? Our lives are very brief. And so what we should be focused on is enjoying life and pursuing the things that we really want to, and not be hamstrung by either bourgeois morality or by laziness, okay? And if you are happily married, then there's really no reason to be cheating on your wife, right? If you really have the urge to cheat, well, then you have to realize that there's something profoundly lacking in your marriage, okay? And either fix it, or live with it, or get divorced. One of those three options, right? But if you decide to live with it and get a side piece, well, you're a grown man. I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna moralize. Nobody's gonna moralize. Nobody's gonna give a shit. Okay. So long as you don't deliberately hurt anybody. And what happens a lot of times is that a lot of guys have some side piece and they want the wife to know, because what they want is the wife to know that she is failing as a wife, and they want to hurt her because of those failures. Because a lot of times, see, those failures on the part of the wife knows. Okay. The wife is aware that she's not fulfilling some aspect of the relationship that is very important to the guy. And it's not necessarily sexual. It could be emotional. Most of the time, it's really emotional. It's other stuff. Okay. She's aware of it. Okay. And it's not something that you can take to court and say, she's not doing this or she is doing that. No. It's subtle. But, two people in a marriage will know it. And so that's why the guy goes out and gets a side piece. And a lot of times the guy with the side piece. Once he got somebody hot, he wants the wife to know so that she feels bad, so that it hurts her, because the guy feels that the wife has been hurting him. And that's the truth of a lot of affairs, see? So, yeah, I did a video about it, but the whole issue of side pieces, it's complicated. Well, like all human interactions, it has a lot of levels going on. A lot of it has to do with revenge, okay? But if you're content in your marriage, it's a good marriage, you got nice kids, a nice cozy home, why fuck with it? You see what I'm saying?
Sounds nice. Thank you so much, Coach. And we look forward to your new content, and maybe bring back some videos. Come on, you got to bring us some classics.
I will. I mean, like, for instance, like the how to work a room video.
Yes,
pretty good video. Yeah, I'm going to bring that back. But there's like a ton of other shit that I'm not going to. And so what I'm going to do is, look, the plan more or less at this time is sometime after the 15th of December, certainly after the 1st of January, I'm going to start like posting again. And I was thinking of like, doing like a big announcement or something like that, but I think that's stupid. I'm just going to start posting. Just do a video and just like nothing, right? And I'm going to post new content. And what I'm also going to be doing is taking some of the old videos and, selecting the ones that are really worthwhile. And like, one of the videos that is really worthwhile, probably the story time video of Lightfoot, how to work a room, and a few others, how to tip was one of my favorite videos, but a lot of videos like that. And some of the videos I'll redo them because I don't think that they came out very well. Like Fuck Crazy. That one is Don't Fuck Crazy, rather. That's one that I'm going to like redo because the original video, it had a good title. It was well made, but the content itself was fairly vacuous. So yeah, but I am gonna bring it back. I needed to clear the decks, man. I just needed my head to be just clear, and I regret losing all the comments on the videos. And I regret the ego part of like having, a couple of videos that have over 1 million views. The other thing I'm going to do is that now that I don't have any content, I'll probably apply for monetization, not because of the cash, but because if a channel is monetized, then it gets more audience. And I'm going to see if I can, because I really want to get over 1 million subscribers. I got to say that's like I really want that. And I know that if they hadn't stood on my shoulder, the CRP channel would have had over 1 million subscribers, So yeah, we'll see how that goes. And it could be that I just wind up doing a brand new channel with 0 views and just starting over. I mean, that's a possibility too, that I'm seriously considering, of just like actually nuking the GL and the CRP channel and just starting from 0, I'll see how that goes. Yeah.
All the best, Coach.
Thanks so much.
Good to have you back.
Oh yeah. Oh, but remember, here on Patreon, I'm solid. Okay. If I were to ever shut down the Patreon channel, I would give at least a 90 days notice, and I'd continue doing content until the very end. But I mean, yeah, I should make that like an official policy so everybody on Patreon knows that I'm never gonna, do it like flat-footed. I'm never gonna do what I did with CRP channel, because the CRP and the GL channel, they're free, right? And of course, I have all these fucking videos backed up and all the rest of it. So they're not going anywhere. But the Patreon channel, that's a different issue because of the transactional relationship. And so I'd never shut it down without at least a 90-day warning. I mean, 90 days is more than reasonable. So yeah. So just so that you know, okay?
Thank you.
Take it easy, Chris.
Bye.
Hello, Herminio. How are you?
Hi, can you listen to me, Coach?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. What's on your mind, man?
Yeah, so about 4 months ago, I followed your advice on psychedelics.
How'd it go?
It was fucking nuts. I loved it. I did mushrooms. I did about 1.5 grams.
Okay.
So like because I like days before I thought I did like 0.7 1 gram and I didn't feel shit, but I didn't feel shit because I ate before it. So I researched it. I was like, so how do I have to do it? So I let
empty stomach. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a lemon tag, empty stomach, and like 30 minutes, I felt like a fucking ape. I was suddenly like in the grass of my in the garden of my house, just like laying like an ape, like looking. It's like I never did that shit before, like the fucking never. It was like really, I don't know, really primitive. But then I went back to my room because it was fucking weird, and I have like a wooden roof, so I started to watch like what was happening, like the hallucinations and shit, and like my wooden roof, it started to wave like like an ocean.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? It was so, and like it was really cathartic, like what you said in the last webinar. I actually came to that thought before I was watching the webinar. I was like, yeah, this guy did fucking shrooms. Like it was really, really cathartic. I love that. I just wanted to say that like it's one of the best advices I have gotten from you. Just wanted to thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. I'm glad that you had a good trip, because of course it does happen that people can have a bad trip. But yeah, I'm so glad that it worked out for you. And yeah, but I mean, the trip itself is fine. It's fun, all the hallucinations, but focus on the insights about yourself. And
yeah,
when
I got a lot from it.
Yeah. Yeah. And focus on that, and try to get as much self-knowledge as possible,
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said before in the webinar, have like an idea you want to explore beforehand. Have it figured out beforehand and have it fixed in your mind. Some aspect of yourself. Like for instance, it could be that, just to give a hypothetical, suppose you have some quality about yourself that you really don't like. That say, oh, I'm so lazy, and why am I lazy about these things? And I want to focus on that and have that in your mind beforehand. You'll find some really interesting insights. And again, it's all stuff that's already in your head. It's only being like rearranged and shown to you in a new way. Yeah. So I'm so glad, Arminio.
Yeah. So, well, final question. Are you sure you want to do the DMT? Because that's like really fucking intense. I mean, I want to do it, but I don't think I'm. Well, I mean, you're never ready. But I'm 21, so I have a lot.
Well, look, my thinking is that if you go on a careful regime insofar as psychedelics, of like slowly building it up, right, and not doing it like every fucking day, like some madman, but doing it, once a month. I mean, like my regime was very conservative, every like between 60 and 90 days. And that was like, because I really, really enjoyed it. But at the same time, I wanted to like, and I haven't done it.
Integrated.
Yeah. The last time I did it was in September of 2020. And here we are 14 months later and I haven't done anything. I've got some acid here. Yeah, hang on a second. Hang on, I'll show you.
I've never done acid because, well, where I live, it's kind of hard to get it. And well, I mean, you could get it, but they put some other shit there, and
I got it like right, right there.
That's
I don't know if you guys can see it.
That's 100 mics, or
yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. But the point is that, see, my thinking is everything in moderation. Everything in moderation. And if you're not sure about something, don't do it. Simple as that, Only do something when you're like really, really confident. As to DMT, my thinking is that this is how I'll do it. I'm gonna probably like when the weather's nicer. I don't know. I haven't thought of it that through. But what I want to do is that in the near term, I want to get back into a regime of taking psychedelics, like mushrooms and LSD. Like do maybe 3 or 4 trips spaced out like 30 days between them, and then when I feel confident, then do DMT.
What's the highest mushrooms you've done?
I did like 3 boxes of truffles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was like 66. It must have been like 70 grams in total or something like that. Yeah, I forgot. But it's that I don't really measure it in terms of like what's the dosage. I was sort of like sloppy in that regard, and so in the next go around, I'll be a lot more diligent as to like noting exactly what dose I'm doing. So yeah, it's something to think about, and I'll definitely be doing it soon. Anyway, Herminio, thanks for being on, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Hey, Alex, how's it going?
Good evening, Coach. How's it going?
Pretty good. Thanks for being on.
Fantastic. So we often hear about Western European guys or American guys who've moved to Eastern Europe and have had great success.
Yep.
I'm wondering, you've lived in Ukraine for a while now.
Yep.
What sort of advice would you give Eastern European guys who live in Western Europe?
Why would you want to stay in Western Europe?
That's a good question. So I'm currently in the UK. I did uni here.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm just working to gain some experience so I can move
Where are
back.
You from?
And I'm from Romania.
Mm-hmm. And so you want to work in the UK, gain experience, and then
move back and open up my own business.
That sounds like a good plan.
But I'm kind of struggling with the girls here, the British girls, when they hear you're from Eastern Europe. Zero chances.
Yeah. Well, look, don't worry about it. English women age badly. That's the truth, right?
Yeah.
And so you're going to strike out. And so you're going to have to go for Polish girls or Romanian girls, in the UK,
that's what I've been doing.
Yeah. And so, don't worry about it. Look, how old are you?
I'm 24.
Okay. See, at this stage of your life, girls are just, a distraction, frankly. You should be focused on your business, your career, getting as much experience as possible, thinking what kind of business you'd like to open in Romania, and lining up people in Romania now who can help you. Okay. Contacts, people who know clients or possible clients. That sort of thing, right? Whatever your business is. You figure it out, right? But even now, if you're thinking in the next 2 to 3 years, 2 to 5 years, you're going to be moving back to Romania, then now you should be getting in touch with people in Romania who could help you later, who could help you then, and just, from your network of people that in Romania, ask around, do you know somebody in this business? And they'll probably be able to point you to somebody. Or if they don't know them directly, they'll be able to point you to somebody who knows somebody. You see what I'm saying? And you got to go out and network now before you go to Romania. Because what happens is that if you start doing it now, you're going to save time. Because networking long distance is easy because of communications, email, Zoom, all the rest of it. And what happens is that, you can start networking now. And by the time you land in Romania, you'll have a lot of people who will look forward to seeing you. And you'll have a running start. But if you don't cultivate anybody in Romania, when you move back to Romania, you're going to have to do that process anyway. And it'll be dead time. You see what I'm saying? So you're saving time if you start now. Because when do you want to move back to Romania? Roughly.
3 years.
Okay. Then start doing it now. Start doing it now. And also, the other thing, be systematic. Write down on paper or have a spreadsheet of the people you contact, when you contact them. Have like a reminder so that at regular intervals you call them up, get in touch with them so that you remind them that you exist. Okay. You don't call them up every week. You call them up, once a month, once every 2 months, once every 3 months. It doesn't matter, but call them up periodically. It's very important when you're in a different country. It's out of sight, out of mind, right? And so what happens is that you have to maintain those relationships. And a simple call of like, hey, let's, you send them an email saying, hey, it's been so long. Why don't we set up a call, a 15-minute call this week, just to say hi and to catch up. Okay. Usually people will say yes. Even if they're not 100% on you, they'll say yes. Sure. It's 15 minutes, so always do that and do that now. Okay. So that when you move back to Romania, you'll be able to start right away.
That's a very good piece of advice. I haven't thought about it before.
Yeah, well, but forget about chicks in the UK. Oh, fuck them. They're a disaster. I mean, dude, I'm telling you, they're a disaster, and it's not worth the effort. The girls in Eastern Europe, Romanian girls, they're just. I mean, come on, you can compare, right? You've dealt with Romanian girls and you've dealt with English girls, right? Which ones are easier? I mean, not easier in the sense that you can fuck them easy, but like just sensible and normal. Which ones?
Of course, Eastern European in general, not just Romanian, but I've dealt with like Polish, Bulgarian, even Greek girls in university.
Yeah, because right now in the West, they're all going fucking insane. It's as simple as that, man. It's not fucking complicated. They're off their fucking rocker. Okay, so you just have to stand back and hope that when the shit explosion happens, you don't get covered in crap. You know what I mean?
It's
yeah.
I think well, the people that come from Eastern Europe to Western Europe, there's a bit of a sacrifice because the people that start out in Eastern Europe, they might not have much, so it's quite hard to start a business from scratch. So a lot of people come to Western Europe to save up some money and eventually come back. But it's just this period where you're saving up the money that's quite tough. It's quite difficult.
Yeah, it is, and so but you'll do fine.
I'll just have to grind and eventually get there.
Look, remember, see, life is not easy. Okay, I mean, understand that. A lot of people in the West, especially, are under the illusion that life is easy. It's not. In the West, there has been a historically brief period when it was very, very easy to have good shelter, a vehicle of your own, a good life for relatively little effort. But that's not historically the case. It was a historical aberration in the West. And now those times are ending. Now life is getting a lot harder. And you just have to roll with it and understand what's going on. See what I'm saying?
All right. Thank you very much for your time, Coach.
No problem. Take it easy. John, how's it going?
Hi, good. So I have a question about psychedelics.
Sure.
So you said that you shouldn't look in the mirror when you took it. And I don't really know. I don't know. I haven't tried it, but from what you said, it sounds like just try it and not try it. So why? What's wrong with it?
Oh, what happens is that a lot of times when you look in the mirror when you're on psychedelics, you will see yourself grossly distorted, and some people find it funny. I found it very funny, but other people are, severely disturbed by it. Okay, and so and you can't really tell beforehand if they're gonna freak out or just it'll be nothing to them. Right? To me, it was absolutely nothing. But I was warned beforehand not to do it. And it was just by accident because I actually have like this, this was my house in Amsterdam. I had this full length mirror and I forgot to cover it up. I had planned to cover it up with a blanket because of this warning I'd been told. And I forgot. And at one point, I'm like totally naked in my house, in my room. And I see myself like, and I'm like radically distorted. And I'm like, whoa, that's what I look like? Oh, this is awesome. And I just didn't do anything for me. I mean, it did not freak me out, but I could understand how other people could be completely freaked out. And so it's just a precaution, Yeah, that's all.
Is it like this mirror rooms in carnivals or something?
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, it's moving. It's moving. Okay, so it's a little bit creepy. Yeah.
Yeah, so sounds like fun.
Yeah, it could be, or it could go sideways for you. You never know. Okay, so yeah, I mean, like people have said that they thought, oh, it'll be no big deal, but it freaked them the fuck out. And other people were like in my case, I thought it was going to be horrible, and then I saw myself, and I was just like, oh, that's just funny, Probably because I have a very clear conception as to who I am. And so to see myself radically distorted like that did not have any effect on me. I saw it as a visual hallucination. I never perceived it as an actual image of myself. Okay. And so I think that that's what happened. Yeah, it was very interesting. Very interesting. Anything else on your mind, John?
No, that's it.
Okay. Thanks for being on, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Okay, so that's it for today's show. Yeah, this extra whatchamacallit Q&A. Yeah, it was a lot of it was easy for me to do this show. I just have to show up and answer questions. I wish that there'd been more people, but I hope that you guys who were here enjoyed it. And yeah, on Sunday there's going to be another weekly webinar. I'm looking at a couple of several topics. I always have topics for the weekly webinar. That's not an issue. So I don't know where it'll be going, but you know, I'll find out probably Saturday night or Sunday morning. I'll figure it out. And yeah, everything is going well for me, thankfully. And yeah, like I said, you know, it was a bittersweet decision to nuke my channel, to nuke the content rather. It was a bittersweet decision, but I know that it was the right decision, you know. But at the same time, even with the right decision, there are always going to be negative consequences. And that, I think, is a thought that I want to leave you with. See, you can make the right choice and yet still regret the choice because there are negative consequences to it. Like the previous guy, the guy who called himself Patreon, the Indian fellow who had the nice Indian girl and didn't really want to be with her for whatever reasons of his own, but at the same time he wanted to fuck her. No, you're going to break up with a girl, you're going to lose the privilege of fucking her. See? It might be a very good decision for him to break up with her, but of course it's going to have a negative consequence. And that's life. You cannot have a good decision that does not have negative consequences. All decisions have negative consequences. See? All of them. Even the best decisions have negative consequences. Consequences that might be very negative, but still less than the positive aspects of the decision, but they're still there. Okay? You got to understand that. And so, yeah, that's a thought I want to leave you with. So, yeah, that's all for today. Take it easy, and I'll see you soon.